Good morning, everybody. I was going to start this meeting saying, okay, everybody take out your inner child and do this. But I decided not to. That's to relieve stress. Okay, no matter how many times I've done this, it still stresses me out. But I came into Gray Sheet 62683 at the bottom of step one for me, which meant my life was totally unmanageable. The first half of step one, I still had tons more eating I could have done. But when I walked in the doors at that time, there were people there that had thin bodies, and they said, "We do Gray Sheet. You want to know how it works?" And I chose a sponsor that day, sat down with somebody, they explained it, and got abstinence. That's just how it worked out. But the what I realized in staying in the program was that the serenity prayer, in applying it to my life, I was taught that was going to show me what I could control and what I couldn't control, because I couldn't keep the two separated. I was trying to control everything in a desperate attempt to manage food, manage my life, and couldn't. The reactions that I learned, to be able to handle my life were not working anymore. And I finally realized that if something comes about, a trigger, and I react to it, I don't have a choice. I'm not in control. But if something comes along and a trigger, and I choose to stop, get grounded, ask higher power for an interpretation, and then I respond, I'm in choice, because that's how I'm choosing what to be. The past actions as a child were, so all of those reactions that I had as immediate responses was out of having PTSD because of my upbringing. And I invented them all based on being in survival. Those were the best solutions I could come up with at the time. And since then, I've learned many, many others. I learned about my real nature, which very many spiritual programs taught me I had, that I'm highly sensitive, I'm keenly aware, I'm honest, loyal, creative. That's not a bragging thing. It's just I finally learned that I have some positive qualities before I only knew that I had negative features. There were a lot of things that I endured which were dysfunctional: isolation, distrust, invisibility, abandonment, shaming, bullying, emotional and sexual abuse. And the survival methods that stopped working were hypervigilance, keeping quiet, not talking or telling anybody my opinions or feelings about anything, addiction, food was first, drugs and alcohol, self-abuse, dissociation, and not trusting anybody. After I came to Gray Sheet, I had tried lots of diets, but they were all free ones. I never spent any money. I knew they wouldn't work. My parents were wonderful at dieting for a week or two, losing the weight and getting back on and eating gourmet food, because that's what they were, gourmet cooks. All of the books on our shelves were cookbooks. But I stayed abstinent for 33 years that way. And when I went to Peru with a spiritual organization called TOSI, I had a slip on the plane at breakfast. But I got right back on with the lunch that I had brought with me. And since that point in time, now I have 8 years as of Monday, the February 12th. Yay! So you don't lose the things that you learned or the experiences that you went through being abstinent over. But this is an honors program, and we practice HOW5. Thank you, Stacy. So I have to be honest, or my disease seeps in. And this is where the sickness is. Right in the big book, it says um, that our disease lives in our mind. So we can't just put down the food and expect to be hunky dory. We have to work off program. We have to do other kinds of therapies, whatever it takes, right, to be able to do life on life's terms. I've had lots of recovery, 12 steps, other spiritual organization, therapy, meds, other healing modalities. Um, but I had two other sponsors before my last one. But this last sponsor, who I'm still with, I've been with her for 35 years. And thank you from the bottom of my heart. She knows who she is. She has kept me glued together. I'm one of those butterfly flutterers. I'm not a type A person at all. And if she hadn't provided the track, this train would not have stayed on it. I would have been doing everything else. So thank you. Through all this time and those tools that I learned, life has become livable and fulfilling. I've always been dedicated to growth. I'm a seeker. I'm never satisfied with staying the same. I don't believe in putting your head in the sand and pretending something isn't happening. I grew up in a home that has the elephant in the middle of the living room. It's like, that's not happening. You don't feel that. No, and it's like, I can't live that way anymore. So I've learned the definition of abuse, dysfunctional family systems, trauma that must be addressed so that we can move forward. I've been to outpatient therapy as well. I've become more honest. I used to, of course, be a liar like all the rest of us learned how to do. I snuck food. I went out. I was a latchkey kid, went out to grocery stores in New York City while my parents, I knew when the phone call would come in. So in the meantime, there's like 3 grocery stores per block in New York City where I grew up. And so I'd go down there, bring a bunch of food home, hide them under all the clothes in my drawers and be just ready for the phone call that came in. So, okay. So I've learned that I have the right to exist. I didn't think I did have the right to exist for the longest times. My preferences are okay, even though they're different. I'm able to confront, stop, and unacceptable behavior. I'm free from predator guilt. I'm able to walk away from mean people. I'm someone who no longer hurts myself, and I'm allowing my true nature to be seen. And I can trust people now. I say that because I couldn't do any of that stuff before. It's good to know what I have learned because I've come a long way. I've stayed abstinent now for 41 years, minus breakfast altogether. I've traveled and enjoyed myself. I've traveled to Europe abstinently. I've traveled to Europe and Cancun and Africa, Switzerland, Canada, Mexico, many different states. I've gone on a safari, paragliding, hot air balloon, dog mushing, skiing, walking on glaciers, biking with a group, climbing pyramids, walking on hot coals, experienced the sweat lodge, and had 2 or 3 cruises. And all that was weighing and measuring and finding what I needed. And some of those times were helped by my mother, who I did make amends to, and she became a friend of us. Cruises helped the 2 of us. She go her way, I go my way, and we come to dinner, and she helped me with my dinner. In Africa, she helped me get what I needed. So anyway, so she became a friend of mine, and we made amends. Now what I'm doing is I'm downsizing my condo, and I'll eventually sell it. I want to move into a living system for the last third of my life, starting with independent living that goes forward. I want to be somewhere safe in my elder age. We all grow old and we all die. So, I'm fine with that. But I want to spend less time figuring all this shit out, and more time living the last part of my life, which I don't know what I want to do with it right now. I don't have to. This is a big enough project. 10 minutes. Thank you. I don't have much family left. I want to be safe somewhere. I have hands, and it's going in my head. And so there's things that I can't cut up my own food. So living alone is really great because I can cut it up. With by holding a piece of steak, I don't have to be prim and proper to do it. So restaurants will be a little harder in my elder age, but and my balance isn't so great. But the irony, get this, is that the problem of invisibility that I had, so now the tremors make me very visible. So thank God I've practiced in Gray Sheet to be assertive, to be proud, to say, fuck you if you don't like the tremors. I don't care. You know, I had to get to all that point, and God knew the progress and the timing of that. I didn't know, of course, but I've been given the gift of acceptance, to live, to be myself, and I'm proud of it. Nobody has to like me, but God and I have to like me. And that's just fine. I accept all the gifts that I have. And when I take step 3, I realize that I am at peace. And oh boy, I did pretty good with that. My first time I ever, 41 years ago, when I gave my first talk, I wrote it all down, and I I was like this, and I cried the whole way through it, but I didn't this time. And yeah, would I love to be say it all off cuff, but you know what? I'm never going to be that kind of person. So I'll let orators get famous doing that. I am where I am, and that's okay. So thank you, everybody. I love all of you, and I'm glad I'm in this community. And that's it. Thank you.